Much respect, Terry. Much respect.
Thank you, mate.
You don't take bread out of another gypsy man's mouth, especially in the fight world. Nobody will actually know what goes through that man's head. I would have beat KSI. He would have beat Jake Paul. Who would have fought next? Yeah, obviously, I would have been fighting him next. When I got shot in the face there, it blew the teeth out of the back, so it was annoying.
I've never heard anybody say that. I got shot in the face, it was annoying.
I've won more professional contests than Tommy and Tyson put together. Basically, he said that I pushed him off a container. He did lose one of his ears and got a few injuries, but that wasn't what happened. They sent the sheep out to start stuttering down the phone. Sheep flock together, lions walk alone, and I'm still ready to eat one of the sheep at any time.
It's amazing that you're the first gypsy that turned pro as an MMA fighter.
That big chopper he's got in his hand is coming towards my head.
It's got your name on it.
Yeah, it's got my name on it. We'll take the whole team on. Tony Giles will fight Roman. Prince Patel will put his world title on the line against Isaac Lowe. I will fight Tommy and Big Joe Egan if him and John wants. Now that's a 4-man fight. Now that's something to come to the table about, isn't it?
Welcome back to season 4 of the Criminal Connection podcast. My name's Terry Stone, aka the Podfather. I want to say a massive thank you to all our supporters, all our subscribers for sharing and viewing our YouTube channel. We've hit over 6 million views. We are well on our way to 100,000 subscribers, and that is a big thanks to you. I also want to say a massive thank you to our season 4 sponsors. Without your help and support, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. Big thanks to our sponsor, IME. This global tech outfit ain't messing about. They've got these slick video interviews that have you connecting like there's no tomorrow. Whether you're running a business, running the streets, or doing your own thing. Perfect for those in marketing, recruitment, admissions, and even for auditions. And their platform, smooth as silk, designed with you lot in mind. IME's the ticket to making those connections count. VIP Security services have been established for 35 years. VIP Security offers a personal security service to escort you, your family and your friends, whether on business or out for the evening. Protect what's important to you. We're watching you while others are watching us. Prevention is always better than the cure. You're in safe hands. Security solutions across Essex, London and the home counties. I want to say a huge thanks to our sponsors, Fragrance du Bois. Now, for those of you that don't know about Fragrance du Bois, where have you been? It is one of the leading luxury fragrances, only available in Harrods, Selfridges and Neiman Marcus in New York. This brand is indulging in pure luxury. It's crafted from the rarest and finest ingredients. Each fragrance tells a story of timeless elegance, and that's why the Podfather wears it. The Podfather does have a personal favourite. It's called Oud Bleu Intense. So for anybody that likes Oud Parfum, that one for me is the one. But they've got so many different fragrances for men, for women. All of the fragrances are unisex, so make sure you get involved and sample the delights of Fragrance du Bois. Every time I film an episode of the Criminal Connection podcast, every guest I've had, I've always said the same thing. Cool, Terry, that smells nice. What's that? And I say, it's Fragrance du Bois. And they go, what's that? And I give them a link, and I give them 10% off, and they buy a bottle. So make sure you get involved. For all the Criminal Connection podcast crew, we've got a special discount for you. 10% off. All you need to do when you click on the link below and choose your luxury fragrance is to put in CCPOD10 for the 10% discount. Just click on the link below to discover your signature scent today. So if you'd like to find out about any of our fabulous sponsors, make sure you check out the links in the description below. Welcome back to the Criminal Connection podcast. Today, we've got a proper gypsy boy. His name is Tony Giles. He goes by the name of the Rhino. He was the first gypsy that turned pro as an MMA cage fighter. So I want you to put your hands together for the founder of the Gypsy Mafia, Mr. Tony Giles.
Terry.
Welcome back, mate.
How you doing, my man? Much respect, Terry. Much respect.
Thank you, mate. It's lovely to see you, mate, because we always sort of like bounce
same area. The things that you must hear. Oh, well, only
I don't
God
hear
knows.
anything. I only hear good things about you, Tony.
I'm happy.
I only hear good
happy.
things.
Yeah, because I've been the last couple of years, I've been a little bit quiet because I've been under. So I've had a big court case that's been going on, which got sorted out just before Christmas. Right. So I I was on bail basically for GBH and extortion, which is something I never do, but I'd never done. But I was on bail and had to wait to go to court for it. Wow. That's why all my fighting got put on the back burner. But in the darkest moment, the lightest bright will shine. And I'm here to prove that because we formed 3X. Yeah. And 3X now is the only boxing organisation that has a licence from the PBA and now a German international licence to hold professional boxers, world champions and influencers on the same card.
Amazing.
We've got a contract with the O3, with the O3, I'm a gypsy, come on. With the O2 Arena, we have a contract with them for 3 events, that number one. Number two is that the 2 other companies that had the same licence of us as us was Misfits and Kingpin. And they're both multi-million pound companies. They both lost their licence. So the Almighty's been working in a weird way, and we're the only ones with it now.
So this time next year, I can ask you for a loan.
Yeah, definitely. We'll start a charity up.
But no, that's amazing. And
I've got a good team of people around me, and do you know what it is that I have had some betrayal in my life. I've had people that I put my trust into that broke my heart. You know, and emotional guilt's the worst guilt. You know that, don't you? Yeah. And when you're upset with yourself, nothing seems to go right. But do you know what? If it wasn't for every one of them, they wouldn't be watching me now, basically.
Absolutely.
So they fuel my fight for success. And do you know what? Every bit of adversity that I've ever faced in my life, I've sort of dealt with it, learnt from it, and moved on. I believe, and that's what's helped me and made me the person I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. A lot of our viewers and listeners know you are already, if not from the boxing, from obviously the travelling travelling gypsy community. Yeah. And obviously when we, for people that don't know you or don't know your story, obviously you was born a gypsy. Yeah. And whereabouts was you actually born? Was you in this
in Virginia Waters?
Oh, wicked.
So I grew up in Virginia Waters, but I had no education, obviously, because at that time gypsies never really went to school. And in our culture, we deal with things our own way. And it's a lot different today than what it was back then. But as I say, deal with things our own way. We're very in a bubble. So all travellers, they seem to stick together. It's been going on for years and years, that travellers stick to their own, basically. And it's understandable. But I married out, I never actually married. I got engaged. I had kids outside of the gypsy community, So with that was a few years ago, and already having kids as well with a gypsy girl, that sort of outcast me a little bit, but it done me the biggest favour in the world. Because I concentrated on my career, because I was doing MMA, and obviously in the gypsy community, in that bubble, there wasn't another MMA fighter, so I had to sort of bust out of it and carry on my own, which is a hard pathway.
I mean, it's amazing to have that accolade that you're the first gypsy that turned pro as an MMA fighter. I mean, when you grew up as a kid, because, my first introduction to sort of gypsies, travellers, was through Pinewood Star Boxing Club.
Yeah, I know Pinewood. My brother's actually a trainer there now.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, Mark, he's a trainer there now. My other brother is a trainer at Camberley.
Well,
and one was a pro undefeated fighter, and he won like 50-odd amateur fights. He used to train with Billy Joe and all that. They used to be... Yeah, but
Billy Joe lived over the road, didn't he?
Relation of ours. So we watched him grow up, and he's done brilliant. My dad always said him and his brother Tom would be world champions because his brother Tom, brilliant boxer.
Did Tom become world champion?
No, he stopped boxing. He didn't turn pro. No, but Billy carried on.
But I remember, when I joined that club, and back then it was very just like gypsies and travellers. There was no...
John Frankham just lived across the road from there, didn't he?
And
my granddad's a good friend.
When I walked in there, the guy, Les, actually said to me, he said, I think you're in one place. But what I know...
most of the boxers went there as well, because unless you're trained in there all the time, there's some really good boys in there.
It was one of the best clubs. I mean, I only had a few amateur fights, but all the fights I had there I won. Yeah. And what I noticed... And this obviously reflects on what you said, like from a young age, they'd have the kids that were like 4 or 5 years old in the ring, put your fucking hands up and have a fight. It was like they was born to fucking fight. Was that your experience growing up?
Foley Arms over in Claygate, that was the first one, and I'd like to say his name today because he died this year, Tommy Eastwood, which was Mundanton Eastwood. And as I say, they're very good people, and he was like a young Mike Tyson, and he was one of the best boxers at that time period. And when I very first started, I was obviously a big kid. So, big bone kid, had a little bit of weight on me. So at the minute, I'm like 86 kilos, but I have fought for titles from welterweight to heavyweight in every division for world titles.
Wow.
Yes, in MMA. And I've fought the best that they have had at that time for world titles. I have 7 titles at the moment, and I have 3 international ones as well, so 10 altogether. Yeah, so that's a hell of a 50-odd fights I've had. I've lost 4 out of them.
I mean, that's remarkable. That's a good...
And then I turned over to boxing. When I turned over to boxing, after I'd done a big episode for a big series, 4 episodes for Channel 5, Here Comes the Gypsies. I had an agent, a very good friend of mine, Mark Brewer. He got me who got the contract for the Floyd Mayweather and the Conor McGregor. He was part of that.
Wow.
He got the same contract. He offered it to KSI's team. They accepted, which is London Shoot Fighter. They was my rivals for years. So I dealt with them loads of times. And then when I'd done an interview for I Film London, which is Kugan Cassia's platform, obviously knew that Tommy Fury was fighting Jake Paul. I was going to be fighting KSI. Mentioned that on there. And then obviously, if you're in that, you're in it to win it. You ain't in it to worry about any other fighters. And it's a new sport crossover, big money in it. I thought it would have only hyped things up even more. Yeah. But oh God, was I wrong. Because I sort of learned a few tricks in the boxing industry that you should keep your mouth shut until that final pen signed. Because Tommy went on to fight KSI after for millions. I sort of got into a few issues with court coming up, and I couldn't have my boxing license, but I could still do BKFC, which is bare knuckle fighting, biggest one in the world. So they got their team, the Furies did, to get one of their stable mates to start calling me out. Instead of KSI waiting about for me to fight me, I went down that road, and then they picked up and carried on with that fight. I.e., that was the reason of my call out on the day that I got not guilty at court.
Right.
To Big John, saying that the best thing to do is my big money fight, what I fought all my life for, what I trained all my life for. I got 5 kids, They sort of took it. They've done really
cheap,
well.
Right?
Kids ain't cheap, definitely not. So I was trying to make it perfectly clear, but I had really, the comeback that I had with that wasn't the one that I wanted, but they didn't understand at that point that I was the director of 3X Promotions, which it now has got the only influencers license from the PBA in the whole of England. So therefore Misfits hasn't. So if they want to do any big competitions, crossover ones, it has to go through us. Right. And we have just signed 2 fighters, which one world champion fighter, Prince Patel, trains down Camberley, sometimes multiple champion. Right. If they want the big card for England, we've got everything. We'll take the whole team on. Right. We've got Tony Giles that will fight Roman. No problem. He's African #1. He's just been signed to us. Prince Patel will put his world title on the line against Isaac Lowe, same weight, give a world title fight. I will fight Tommy, no problem whatsoever. And Big Joe Egan, we've got the influence license. If him and John wants, now that's a 4-man fight. Yeah. Now that's something to come to the table about, isn't it?
I think John. Yeah. I think people would like to see.
I would like to see John fight Joe. I know Joe. Joe's a very good friend of mine, And as I say, he's a very respected man. And if he says something, he stands by what he says. So this is when John says something in the boxing world, is not what he would say in a normal world, I believe anyway.
But I think when you look at John Fury and you look at Joe Egan, I mean, I've never seen John fight, but I've obviously seen Joe fight, and obviously Mike Tyson said he was one of the. I think he said he was the hardest white man in the world or something. So you sort of think, if I was John Fury, I don't know if I'd be want to call him out. Maybe call someone out a bit smaller.
Exactly. But he went down this road before with all the call outs and everything else, and then that sort of died out with a previous
Do you think he's just
person.
doing it because it's just a bit of banter and a bit of fun and it just whips people up on social media, or do you think he actually does want to get in the ring and have a fight?
Well, I believe Nobody will actually know what goes through that man's head. Look, he sits in a field all day long with a wagon and a pot cooking. So who knows what he thinks about.
That wasn't just for the show then. That's actually real life.
That's actually real life.
Well,
He is an
that.
old-fashioned. So I was trying to be as respectful as I can. And I said to him, listen, look, you don't take bread out of another gypsy man's mouth. You're not when they're doing something, especially in the fight world. You do not class yourself as a king, right, and do not step up to the challenge, especially if you're in the same industry. Right. So when I was more than happy and willing, and at that time I was able, all right, so I didn't have no more court. Yeah, no more court, no more stress, no more, because if I signed a big contract for a big fight with him and something did happen at court and I went to prison, I wouldn't be a man of my word, would I? So now I've got no court issues going on. The first day I walked out and got a not guilty, the call out went out that night. And he knows, and ever since that, he has had, I bet he wished that he would have spoke up for himself then, because now he's had Joe Egan, he's got Cole Froch, he's got everybody has seen a clink in their armour and they are being attacked from all ways. So this is what was going to happen. I'm sorry to push the ball rolling and make it start, but I'm giving them an offer for them to stop it all, and put one of the biggest domestic shows on, crossover fights in the whole of England.
Do you know what's funny? Like, loads of the boxing purists hate anything to do with influencers boxing or celebrity boxing or charity boxing or whatever.
Most monies aren't now.
But you know what? Genuinely, as a massive boxing fan, I've always looked at it and I've always thought the people that follow these people probably ain't even interested in boxing, right? And the fact that they're watching that and then they're becoming boxing fans,
it's brilliant.
It's like you're fucking funneling the new wave of people and building it up again. So for me, if I was a boxing promoter, I'd be open and work with my arms going, come on in, boys. And like you said about blending up the show. So you'd have some proper pro boxers on a world title level.
So when you go there, you want to watch, if you're going to a professional boxing event, you want to watch a world title. Because you're watching the best level of fighters. But the build up to that, if you've got influencers that you've watched known as personalities, there's nothing better than you want to do than to watch that. And we've actually got betting all the way through on them. We've got a broadcast that go out to like 186 different countries all around the world. Amazing. We've got, massive sponsors behind us. We've got a very good team. Friend Hassan, my good friend Quincy, I believe he was on your show as well.
Quincy's great.
Yeah,
good
he's
fun.
one of my really good friends. So Grant Miller, so he's the licensee and one of the owners, co-owners, So we've got a very good team at the minute. We've got Tamara Hassan off the business.
What's he going to be doing?
He's going to be putting you in competition with Tamar Time. He reckons he's going to be the new Joe Rogan of the UK. So. It looks good. It looks good.
Amazing. Oh, so is he gonna fight though?
No, he's involved, and I think he was talking to Misfits offering his daughter Belle, to fight on there, and then if he's involved in this, which he is, and I spoke to him before, he's going to be our ambassador and anything that we need, he's on board with it.
Yeah, because I remember speaking to him years ago. And I'm sure, I don't know if he was an amateur or pro, but he said.
He used to be a pro boxer. Look, he's been down, my life, if you ask me to describe it, it'd be like escort Snickers. It's been up and down more times, than one of those. But I guess he has as well, but he's been through it the hard way. And you know yourself, you've done a bit of boxing. He's no harder sport.
No, he's
to earn money out of than getting your face punched in.
Yeah. I only did amateur, so I did it for fun. But I know... Like everyone I know in the pro game has always said it's the hardest game in the world.
Well, imagine doing MMA and walking down a road that no one's ever been in your culture.
What was that like for you, Tony, when you did it? Did people think you was mad when you said you were doing it?
Crazy, a long, lonely pathway, And I knew, because I thought to myself, listen, if I don't go to the pub every weekend, I don't drink, I ain't drunk for like 10, 12 years.
Right.
I'd rather spend time with my kids in that,
But when you was drinking, did it always end up in rolling around on the floor?
Not really. I just never enjoyed myself really too much. I'd wake up the next day and I always loved since a kid I've always trained. I've always been around the boxing, always been around fighting, always been around events. It's been the biggest thing ever, and to be part of it and to actually be part of something new like that. And with the boxing, you do it for long enough. Everything like sort of, You do anything for long enough, you get bored of it. So when MMA come about, and always thought myself as a bit of a WWE wrestler,
Right.
as well. So the boxing and the wrestling all wrapped up into one put me down a pathway.
Right.
But I sprung to the top a bit lively, and then as soon as I got to the top and started fighting on Sky Sports, Channel 5, then all of a sudden everybody loved me, and I was, and that's nice because they pay attention, they start watching you, coming down, seeing you. And but
do you think you inspired other gypsies to actually get involved?
I still haven't seen one of them yet. Go down or do there. There's not been one of them yet to come through and do it. But then again, I wouldn't let my own son do it. So and my boy's 16. I've got one that's 11, and all he does is play football. The other one plays the computer all the time, does a little bit of boxing.
I'm surprised they haven't been like, Dad, show us how to moves, you know what I mean?
I've showed them all the moves, that's one thing for sure, just in case. But to compete, to earn money out of it, it's the life that you have to lead on the build up to it is unbelievable. So when 19 hit, I used to fight every 8 to 12 weeks at least for 10, 12 years. Constantly programmed to do that. So I always had something to look forward to.
So you was always living, I mean, you never really...
Always a fight around the corner. There was always a fight. I had 2 fights down the line constantly, going to different countries all the time. Colin Barrett was my trainer. He had a big place out in Marbella, a great big villa. We used to be out there all the time.
Good excuse
constantly.
to go,
Well, it was, wasn't it? But when we used to be doing the sprints on the beach in the morning time, everybody used to be waking up from champagne parties. And we used to be sprinting past them thinking, we want to go to one of them, but we never did. We always loved the training. We'd always go out, get food, see everyone at the beginning of the night. And the next morning we'd see them land on the beach, So it's and makes you feel good. You're always alert. You're always on the ball. And you know what? Good things come to you. Bad things only come when you drink. That's what I believe anyway. Well, what I witnessed, what I've seen.
Well, I think as well, when you're out drinking, there's always somebody who I mean, I've seen it so many times. They have a few drinks and everyone will start fucking fighting and,
And I've got a lot to lose. And especially, listen, if you've been doing something your whole life, every day when you wake up, and it's not a job, it's what you love.
And also for you.
And to get paid for doing something that you love, that you're going to be good at it.
Yeah.
You're going to be good at it eventually because you love it and you do it every day. Yeah. And I love being around the fight world. It took years. If I'd never went down the pathway I did, I wouldn't have known. And I wouldn't have been able to do the research. I wouldn't have had the connections, what I have now, to do exactly what it is that we're doing now. And I believe now it's going to start going off.
Yeah. Well, I think also because you're a professionally trained fighter, obviously if you do hit somebody outside, they're not going to be lenient with you, even if it's self-defense, because they're saying, well, you're a professional fighter, and so
that's a good thing about being a martial artist. So being a martial artist, you learn to control and bottle your anger. Through daytime, there's so many things that upset and stress you out. You put that into your bottle and you let it out when you train. Right. And then everybody along that level, you see every cage fight you meet, you think, you know what, he ain't a bad fella. Right. He's all right. Why ever in the world does he do that for, Right. Because through the daytime, he might have things that bug him and do his head in all the time. He'd put a smile on, and then that night...
When you go in that
night, you've got someone trying to take your head off.
He's actually not that nice.
He's
great outside, but when you go in there... He's trying to
snap your arms and legs a bit lively.
And how would you describe your fight style, Tony? Was you like a grappler, or was you a striker?
I was a strike-up, stand-up fighter. So the K1 fights I had, when I won those, and when I got up to fighting for world titles for those, unbelievable, because it's elbows, knees. You haven't got no protection except for 4-ounce gloves on. So you've got elbows coming out so it's all bone on bone. So one wrong move and then you could be seriously hurt.
But I remember seeing when K1 first started.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas and somebody said, "Oh, there's a K1 fight," and it was in the Bellagio.
Yeah.
And I went, and I've never seen anything like it in my life. People were just getting fucking carried out on stretchers.
The amount of injuries that I've saw and witnessed. Well, the biggest shake-up that I ever had was, and my boy witnessed it, that upset me a little bit. Right. I was the main event at a show before, so I was fighting for a title. The co-main event was in the same changing room, was getting ready for the fight. So a lovely fella, I saw him didn't know him too well. He had his missus with him. He got ground and pounded inside of there, and then when he got bung out the back, he went into a fit and he died. So, and we had to stand there and watch that, and then they called me out to fight, knowing that the guy in there was full of life. His wife screaming over the top of him. Fluid went to the brain. They had people on top of him trying to resuscitate him. And then that's going to have a fight. That was, and I was more I was worried about was thinking my boys had to sit and watch that.
That could be me.
Yeah, that could be me. So that was hard. And to move on from that was like, right, I know that I must have been put on this earth to carry on and do this. So there's got to be there's got to be something in it for me to carry on doing it after seeing and witnessing that.
Who would you say out of all your opponents was your hardest fight?
Big Ben Smith. God. Right. He was a heavyweight. He was London shoot fighter. He trained out of 6-time world champion. Wow. He knocked like world champion Jamie Earn out as a pro boxer. There's no one that he didn't at the time. Right. He was elite. And I went from a welterweight to a heavyweight world title fight.
How did you put on that much weight? It's fucking
that was crazy. But I never made the weight. He went in there over 100 kilos. And when I got there, I think I made up to about 86 kilos. Right. And I was still there the final bell. So I was still there. No, I was still there to final bell. I lost on split decision. They took 2 points off me, illegal blows. But I fought somebody on completing up 3 weight classes different than me. You know, out of the best team that they could put in front of me. Everyone said I was crazy. Nobody said to me to get in there and do it. Even my own trainers told me if I accept the fight, that they didn't want nothing to do with it. Wow. And at the final bout, my trainer cuddled me. He said, I think you won that fight. So he said, I think you got
well, split decision, it could have gone either way.
But he was a big, hard, oh my God, you don't understand. It was like fighting The Rock.
Well, also 14 kilos.
Fantastic Four, Rock Man, that's what it was like because I hit him with everything.
But to anyone who's not into fighting, 14 kilos is a lot of fucking weight to give away. It's a lot of weight to give away.
Muscle, not a fat, of muscle. So look, he had a 6-pack when he got in there. So it wasn't like he got in there, he's 14 kilos and he had love handles. Right. He got in there and literally if he could have caught me the right, he would have took my head off my shoulders. Wow. And even I was thinking warming up before that fight, about the guy what happened to him, and I'm thinking I must be crazy. What is going on? And I'm getting pushed further closer to the walkway.
Does that drive you on, Tone? Though when it's on
you face adversity, and when you face adversity and you get through the other side, and you think it's all over now. Right. It's all like I've done it, and then you watch it and you think, is that me? I can't believe I've done that. And everyone says, I can't believe that you know, like you've done something no one else would. And I don't get no recognition for it. That's why I got so upset, really, with the Fury situation, because they done a Cat 66 on me because they seen me being a threat in the crossover. And obviously they wouldn't have, as soon as I would have beat KSI, he would have beat Jake Paul, who would have fought next. Right. Yeah, obviously I would have been fighting him next. And they realised with what I've been through, then it's unfair on Tommy.
Do you think you'll have a fight with KSI?
No, well, I'd like to fight KSI, but I'm more focused on, I think me and Tommy should most definitely step into the ring and get this sorted out.
I think that'd be a good fight.
I think it should be. And as I say, we've got all the licensing, we've got everything to put it on in the O2, where his last fight was with KSI. What his most money he's ever earned was in the O2, not Saudi, at the O2. Wow. So therefore, come back into the O2. We can put a 4-man competition on if they want to. We can do anything. He keeps going on, Big John Do, saying, contact me. So let's sit at the table, solicitors. We've tried every way possible. And there's not one way that he will even speak or have anything to do about it. Right. Because, listen, you can't be wrong and strong, but when you're right, there's a fight, you know? And that's the way I look at it. Yeah. So hopefully, Lo.
And obviously, when you were going through the, the fighting initially, when did the actual Gypsy Mafia thing start? Because
when I was crossing over so I was always Team Gypsy as a cage fighter. And then when I was crossing over into the boxing world, I seen Tyson how well he'd done out of being the Gypsy King, and I was thinking to myself, right, if he's crowned himself the Gypsy King, you got to actually have a fight with a Gypsy that's offered you out to be a Gypsy King. Right. But he's never done that. So, but he calls himself a Gypsy King. I think he deserves it. Look what he's done. Yeah. You know, so Tommy or none of them, or the other one doesn't deserve to do that because they've never actually fought anyone or beat anyone that can actually fight or got any. I've won more professional contests than Tommy and Tyson put together. Right. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I've got more knockouts than what both of them's got, I should think. Yeah, in a cage and a lot harder sport. So really and truly, Tommy, that's why I said that I'm more than happy, John, with fighting any one of your boys, you know. So if you feel like I'm too good to fight Tommy, then put Big Boy in there with me. At least I'm getting a good payday. And you know what? I'm going in there to win. That's one thing for sure.
And when you look at, obviously there was the proposed postponement of the Fury and Usyk fight. Yeah. And I think it's been rescheduled for middle of May, innit?
Yeah. I was actually going to go to Saudi and watch it. Right.
That's the fight that I want to see. Who do you reckon wins?
Well, Usyk seems to have him mentally at the moment, I think, because he's not pulling anything out of the bag, and that mentally is the main way with boxing that you're going to win. But Tyson's full of tricks, so he might be playing this card, get in there and then do something different. Who knows? At that level, and both of those, they've been through it years. He's had over 300 odd wins at an amateur Olympic level, So I know through training with the Olympic training team, the judo team, for years, that the level that they go through, the Olympians, it's unbelievable. Most pros don't go through what they go through. And for him to be the best at that for years, it's like everybody says about AJ and Tyson. Did you know that Anthony Joshua was already beat Tyson as an amateur?
I didn't know that.
No. Do you ever hear AJ talk about that?
No.
No, well, that happened, and that's a fact.
Wow.
So this is what I'm saying. If he wanted to say it, he could look up and say, I've already beat you once as an amateur. Yeah. But he doesn't say that, does he? You know what? He's very humble, and I really like AJ. I think he deserves everything he's got. He's already fought Usyk. As soon as Usyk got put in front of him, let's have it. Lost twice, wiped on and moved on, and now look where he's at, fighting Ngannou for a million, probably more than what they're getting.
Right.
Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying? So how can you not love AJ? Yeah. And I believe AJ and Tyson is going to be the fight after this. It's going to have to be.
So you think Fury beats Usyk then? Are you saying that?
Well, so I'm saying anything could happen with that one.
So it's 50-50.
And I'm going to be, I'm a Brit, number one, so I want the title to come back here. I'm a Gypsy, I want that. So, I'd like to see Tyson win, but Usyk's going to be a half fight, his biggest fight today. And,
I think that
and unless he catches him and puts the pressure on him, and puts him on his back foot, then Usyk will be too fast, too much movement, and will outpoint Tyson.
I think that the Dubois fight that Usyk had, I think Dubois showed how to beat him really, and I think, and Tyson said throughout, the body shots are what gets rid of Usyk, and he said the same about Dillian White. He said, I'm going to hit him with the same shot as Povetkin knocked him out with, and he did it. Do you know what I mean? So I think as a boxing fan, and you hear what he says, he normally does follow through what he says. So, and I mean, I watched the thing with Ngannou, and I didn't think he took that seriously, or he might have just about to give Usyk that. Yeah, but let's have a fight. I don't know.
Everyone has a bad night at the office.
Yeah.
How many times have you went to work and then you know what, you start it your first day and you're all nervous and worried about that, and then you do it for long enough and it's just normal. You get up and do it, and you have your good days, you have your bad days at the office. That was a bad day for Tyson at the office. But he's always got through it one way or another.
He won, didn't he? So
he won, all right, and he did take some big shots from him. But Ngannou didn't lose nothing by going that fight. All he done was got more and more, because look, the money he's going to earn now and the level he's at, everyone is saying that he won the fight. Same as Tommy Fury and KSI. Everybody that I've spoke to said that KSI won that fight. They believe, and he's upset. Yes, he is. But if it's going in their direction all the time, they're not accepting any other challenges from unless who they want to fight. It's not very good, not for the whole boxing world. Tyson's been caught up with so Tyson's got a fight basically, even though he's had the cut, gone back, he's accepted that, he's fighting. Yeah, the other two, they're just waiting for victims. Right. They're waiting for John to find victims for him, which ain't really... really good for them.
And do you think
boxing fans?
Do you think with Ngannou fighting AJ, do you think that's going to be a tough fight for AJ?
I think that's going to be a fight to watch.
Right.
That is going to be a fight to watch, because he's not going to be on his back foot. AJ's going to come forward. AJ's got more skills than him, but Ngannou's got the power.
Right.
That is a fight to watch. The power houses, like two vans hitting each other. So. I wouldn't like to be one of the ropes, would you? Right. I wouldn't like to be that close to the ring. Imagine them two falling out on top of you. I wouldn't like to buy them breakfast as it goes. Cost you 300 quid.
When you actually started going under that Gypsy Mafia thing, I saw loads of rap videos. I see a few of the there was a few call outs between different people, and there was a load of sort of. I mean, How was it sort of received in the Gypsy community? Were there people that then wanted to have pop at you to sort of test you out? Or the
situation was that when I done that, they know it's for business. They know that I've come into the boxing, but in the Gypsy world, the Furies had such a big, because they was the biggest at what they'd done. Right. Money talks a lot. They got a lot of family, and as I say, where they was at the boxing world. Yeah, for me to be coming over and trying to take over, that put a lot of adversity in it. You know, a lot of them seem to listen. Sheep flock together, lions walk alone. You know, and that's the way I look at it. And I'm a lion. I've walked alone, you know, and I'm still here now.
Right.
And I'm still ready to eat one of the sheep at any time. You know, just put them out to me, put them in the field and watch what happens. So that's the way I look at it. You know, no one bothers me. People can think what they want. One day they hate you, next day they love you. You know, so who cares? As long as you are a proper person, there's things you can't buy, which is respect, loyalty, you know, and you know what? Happiness, that's one thing you can't buy.
Yeah.
You know, you can't wake up and be happy every day and pay for it, you know. You've got to wake up every day and love what you're doing. And I love what I'm doing. I love where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm here for a reason.
And the reality shows you've done, you did the...
Big Fat Gypsy Wedding.
Big Fat
Gypsy Christening. And then moving on after that, it was the Gypsy Kids. And then there was 2 series of that. That was for Channel 5. The other one was for Channel 4. Then it went to the Gypsy Next Door, two series for that, 2 years. Then it went to the Secret Life, Here Comes the Gypsies, and then there was 2 series of that. Right. So, constantly. And then as well as round that, done the Paddy Doherty movie. So
what was
we're
that?
working
What
with
was
Paddy.
That? Was that a documentary?
So we're still through it at the moment. A guy, Aaron Bonin, he's over at America. He's Angelina Jolie's partner, and they're doing a big movie at the minute. So I got put on the back burner. So, and it's been under construction for quite a while. Right. Yeah, so Callum Bestie played a bit in it, you know. Ray Winston's daughter, met her, played a bit with her.
Was that
as well.
Lois or Jamie?
No, Jamie.
Jamie's great.
Yeah, Jamie, she's lovely. Yeah, she's lovely. She come to my place. We've done some filming in that. Right. So as well as being around, but doing the fighting and the mad up and down life, what I had, obviously I've had a few injuries outside as well. Got shot 3 times. That wasn't good. 3 separate occasions.
So what happened?
Once in the face. That's why I got the new teeth there.
Right. No, I was going to say when you walked in, I thought you've got Hollywood smile tone.
Yeah,
I don't remember you having
when I got shot in the face there, it blew the teeth out of the back. So it was annoying. So I had to get all that done, and that was over a feud in the family.
I've never heard anybody say that. I got shot in the face. It was annoying.
Yeah, it was annoying. It was annoying. So in the chest was annoying because I was in a car, didn't know it was going to happen. So, and that out of nowhere, before you look round, airbags going off and whatever else. You don't know if you're dead or alive. That wasn't very good. Same sort of thing as well. Nearly had my kneecap blown off. Gypsy feud, everything. And you don't know what's happened at the time. Right. Everybody's all fighting with one another. Things are happening always. Right. You know what? So it is what it is.
So all 3
has been for other people's arguments. Never one of them has been for mine. All it's been is to be standing there and trying to sort it out.
But it was basically all Gypsy related.
Every one of them. Right, and mainly family Gypsy related as well. So they're feuds that, what can you do? I
mean, for people that are watching this that either don't know about the Gypsy lifestyle or don't understand it, when there's a feud, what is it normally over? Is it because somebody's disrespected someone?
It can start over anything. They can start over it. Like, you see the Furies the other day tried getting Shane to reply to me to turn it into a feud. Yeah, where if they turn into a feud, then it's a family thing. A lot of stress, a lot of aggravation. I've got a lot to lose. Yeah, and I want to go down another road. And it wasn't none of them want to make it into a feud. Right. They wasn't Tommy ringing up. They wasn't Tyson. They wasn't the other one. I don't even know his name, Romeo. They wasn't Big John. They've got too much to lose. They sent the sheep out to start stuttering down the phone, and I couldn't even make sense of him, to be honest with you. Right. I've actually felt sorry for the guy, you know, so he didn't know what he was going on about, but he probably had them all around him, shouting him out there at the same time, telling him what to say, because it's embarrassment, number one. Number 2 is as well, I was chatting to Coogan about it, and he said, really, you got to have respect for him because it's his family, and that's what you got to do in the Gypsy world. Right. Yeah, but it was boxing, it was a sport that it was, you know. So if I would have replied back in a different way, I would have either got my licence took off of me just for a reply like that to someone who hasn't got a licence. Oh, so when you're licensed, Tyson or any one of those, Tommy reply to me and then see what I've got to say to those. Right. Yeah, because it's on a fight level.
But if it's not, and you say anything, you can have a problem.
I've been hit with every trick of the trade. So, and every time you hit a full stop, like you hit AT road, you reverse out, you go get back on the main road, think I ain't going down there again. So losing's learning sometimes.
So when you got shot, was that over? I mean, when they shot you, I take it they were shooting you to kill you. They weren't shooting
you. It was actually relation to the Furies. Yeah, cousins to the Furies as well. But that's married into us as well. I told you it's a tight knit group. So, and no, I was going down because my sister's kids was at the bottom. They all pulled up, and one of them slent over the fence and shot me in the face, basically. But 4 of them got shot on the same day. So there was a big shoot.
Like the Wild West.
OK Corral, and that's in Virginia Waters.
Fucking hell. I
so
thought that
crazy.
was a posh part of Surrey.
Exactly, right near Wentworth Golf Course. So Prince Nazim's boys used to come down to me when they very first started boxing. Prince didn't want them to fight, and he didn't want to be there without them fighting, basically. Right. So he was very good friends with my Uncle Ronnie, and my Uncle Ronnie said, look after them, and then all of a sudden...
Is that Ronnie Smith?
Yeah, Ronnie Smith.
Yeah, he's a good, great guy.
Yeah, I love
I didn't know it was your uncle.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's been some... there's been some good turns he's put in my life, you know. So he died not long ago, and I loved him.
Yeah, do you know what? I did hear about that.
And
when
he
was that last year?
Last year. He was basically the one to say, get out of, stop having all these people around you. Why I got in trouble with the GBH and the extortion, because I wanted nothing to do with no one that I was working with no more. Right. And I wanted to carry on the boxing. That's why I bought the boxing club, number 1. Number 2 is why I was carrying on the boxing, Gypsy Mafia, celebrity lifestyle, boxing, celebrity lifestyle, earn money, kids, family, it's a good life, apart from being a complaints department for some of the 1%, let's just say, you know. And and I did take his word, and I told everyone I wanted out, and before I got out of it, got wrapped up into into a big court case, number 1. Number 2, the gym that I bought and promoted. Do you know what happened?
So this Camberley Boxing Club?
Yeah, Camberley Boxing Club. There's an incident in there where one of the trainers got stabbed. So yeah, and anyway, a lot of people come in there, overrun the gym, kids in there at the time. I was a little bit concerned it was something to do with me, so I pulled out of the gym, you know, and carried on down my own pathway.
I mean, that is fucking crazy to happen.
I have had a whirlwind the last couple of years. But do you know what? If it didn't happen, I wouldn't be here now, would I? So
you're still standing.
I'm still standing. Hey,
and obviously when you had this thing hanging over your head, the extortion and the
GBH
and the GBH thing.
Yeah.
So what was the actual allegations then? It was
it was Wes Rooster, the guy's name was, who had the industrial yard. He was working with a guy called Colin Clark, which I was working with as well for a few years.
Is he the guy
with the one leg? Yeah.
Right.
And he's been on the TV with me before as well. Right. And I told all of them.
So he's a pal of yours?
So I listened to my Uncle Ron. My Uncle Ron said, listen, get out of all of this, do the boxing. I'm telling you. I told them all by Christmas I'm moving out of it. I got engaged to to beautiful lady Sophie a few months before. We were starting a new life. I was doing my boxing, concentrating. I bought a place down in Cambridge that I was at a little farm that was derelict that I was building. So I just thought to myself, you know what? I listened to my Uncle Ron. He's never put me wrong, and that's what I'm going to do. And before I got out of it, I got wrapped up with all of this with... Basically, he said that I pushed him off a container. He did lose one of his ears and he got a few injuries, but that wasn't what happened because we went to court. His word against mine. He swore my life away that day, and I could not believe that he stood in court and put his hand on the Bible, and he was like a little schoolgirl crying to those, and then we got chucked out instantly. That day, first day, but 18 months of that, I was going up for £3 million worth of extortion because he said I tried taking his yard off of him. And GBH, because obviously his injuries and but he didn't lose his ear. I think he got sewed back on.
Right.
So, and then when the paperwork got disclosed to me, which him and Colin Clark.
So you're like wandering about, and then you just got fucking nicked.
No, so I was in the yard because I was working with Colin. So I was in the yard, was chatting to him one day. This happened 3 weeks after the day that I was in the yard, that he rung the police and filed the complaint. Yeah, that happened to him, and he also told the ambulance people that he fell off from the container. The next door neighbour had a video of him falling off the container, so therefore it wasn't me. So, and then 3 weeks later, made the report, but he never made it on his own. Him and Colin Clark made it.
Wow.
Yeah, the guy that I wanted nothing more to. Yeah, and basically just turning a new leaf and just carrying on with what I love doing. I didn't love doing what I was doing with them. I love doing what I'm doing now. So
I
couldn't believe that hurt me. That really did, and that's all. I got the paperwork for it. I got the disclosure for it. I've even got the creps. You know, one day I had the court, and I couldn't believe because Wes goes round and listen. You either live by the code or you don't live by the code. every injury I've ever had, every time I've ever been in prison, which has been for serious life-changing charges, I've always kept my mouth shut. I know that I ain't done nothing wrong,
Right.
but you keep your mouth shut, you know, you live by the code.
Right.
That guy don't live by the code, and Colin Clark certainly doesn't live by the code. I've done everything
So they both sung like canaries.
Yeah, they both put the charges together. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was all because I wanted to get away and didn't want to be no longer anything to do with them or any of their problems.
And
I
obviously-
wanted to do my own thing.
And obviously, if it had gone against you,
If it would have gone again.
and they
If they was
believed
in the
him.
video of Next Door, which they never knew that I had until the day of trial, I've been falling off the container. Then he's been to school. He owns an industrial estate. He's been to college. He's been to university. This guy's a proper straight goer in one light on paper. And then obviously we know him. You know him yourself, don't you? I think he even trains down the gym that you go to.
then I've not seen him.
No, well, he trains down there. My girlfriend actually trains down there as well, David Lloyd. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So he goes down there and he acts the person that he is. You know, like he's some sort of gangster 1 minute, and the next minute he's a straight board in the yard, the owner of an industrial yard, and then Colin obviously got him to put them charges out again.
Wow. And if they'd have believed him, what would you have been looking at? Prison
Long time. Well, extortion, £3 million worth of extortion, which was big charges, and then obviously the injuries he has, which is a GBH because he had his ear took off.
Would that be Section 18 or would that?
Section 18? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you'd have probably got about 9 or 10 years. Wouldn't
Yeah,
you?
double figures, especially with the license and everything else.
Oh,
what
so
I've
you were
got.
already on license?
No, because I've got I'm a world champion fighter,
Got it.
mixed martial artist.
Right.
So when you stand in front of the judge, they look at you as a weapon yourself. You know,
Right.
you haven't trained to break people's bones and in all these different martial arts for years and years of your life, decades of your life.
Right.
Yeah, to be classed the same as a normal person.
Right.
You get classed as a machine, you know, and that's why it's caused so much trouble and so much stress to my life,
Yeah.
you know, going up to it, not knowing as well. And then when I got disclosed all the paperwork, I thought, you know what, this was all trying to get out and trying to do exactly what my uncle told me to do for the best. So if I would have stayed into it, what would have happened? Who knows?
But you're a believer in karma, yeah?
Yeah, I'm very strong believer
Because
in
I do
karma.
think if...
what goes around comes around.
absolutely. The world's a round place, as they say.
And I believe the truth always comes out in the end,
Yeah.
because a lot of people come to me and told me a lot of different things that time why it was going on, you know. And then the truth, as I say, always comes out in the end. Paperwork don't lie,
Right.
you know.
Wow.
So
And looking at things in black and white as well,
Yeah.
you must have just been...
I don't hold grudges, though. That's one thing. I learn from it, you know. And especially when someone's told me before and it works out that the person that told me, do you know what, told me for my own good, not to benefit them.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
they're the people you got to listen to.
There's not
They're the
that
people
many
that
of
you've
them
got to
people around.
trust. Not many at all. Not many at all. Very-
And going back, obviously, before that, have you actually done any jail time?
Yeah, I was on 10 months. I was on remand for, there's an incident, 2 GBH with intent. Someone lost 3 fingers. A woman got a chest plate broken. Obviously, that it was self-defense charges. I went round to pick my kids up. Load of people come running out with all weapons, trying to attack me. There were 6 of those.
Somebody actually set you up then?
What? So no, I went in to pick my kids up, but earlier on that day they had an argument with my mum just before my dad died. No, just after my dad died, and my mum's had an argument, but my mum knew these people her whole life before I was even thought about.
Right.
So therefore, what the thing was, what aggravated me, nobody told me, but she's obviously said, look, I'm going to go and get Tony. Tony's coming back down here. Now, I don't blame him really for running out with weapons, you know, because I probably would have myself, but I never knew nothing about it. I just walked in there.
Surprise.
And they must have thought that was crazy. And then before I got to them, I could realise that the woman was actually screaming at me because I just thought, I'm going to pick my kids up. And there's no kids there. I'm looking around, then I realised that the big chopper he's got in his hand is coming towards my head.
It's got your name on it.
Yeah, it's got my name on it. So yeah, with my martial arts skills, let's just say,
Right.
I managed to get a golf club off of one of them,
Right.
you know, and self-defense, as he tried hitting me with the chopper, I pulled the golf club up. I'll never forget, it's a ping putter it was. You know, the ones with the big bit on the end with a little line on there. Quite heavy it
lining them
was.
up?
Yeah, but and it caught him on the bottom of the hand. His fingers come off. She hit me with the baseball bat. And then as I went back, I remember pulling it back up, hit her in the chest.
Right.
She went through the hallway. She was like the Wicked Witch. And then, when the house drops on her, all you could see was her legs sticking out of the trailer. I thought to myself, this is not good whatsoever. Yeah, within seconds. But I could have been, I could have died for going to pick my kids up, not knowing.
Well, the thing is, as well, if you had that martial arts capability, or you hadn't have been switched on, after someone's hit you around the head with
10 months on remand, high security prison. So, and going up to that, everyone said cut and dry case, go guilty, all right. And I thought I ain't going guilty for something. I went to pick my kids up and nearly had my head chopped off. I don't care. Yeah, exactly. And then my Uncle Ronnie went up to the temple 3 days. He was up there for, and this hand on my heart, his name was Stephen Hadley. Right. My Uncle Ronnie bung him in for a legal visit, and he was the only one out of everyone to say to me, if there's any way possible, that we can get you off, I'll get you off, because I believe you. I'll do it. I'll take the case.
Amazing.
And then he got acquitted on day 3 of the trial.
And when you went into jail, obviously, what was the charge? It was 2 GBH charges. 2
GBHs with intent and about another 6 charges.
Wow.
Yeah, possession of a firearm, threats with a fire, all charges that was getting dropped as longer it's going towards the trial. But there's still 2 GBHs with intent and about another 4 nasty charges what I was getting.
But I'm sure when you first got arrested and you looked at that rap sheet.
I was sitting inside there. First time I've ever been in prison in my life.
Wow.
And I'll never forget, as soon as I walked through the door, went through reception, they took me up to the wing. I think to myself, how have I got from being on TV, doing all my fighting to this? I'm trying to work it out. They put me in my cell. I hear bang, bang, bang on the door. I look round like that, the flap comes open, and do you know Danny Simpson?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, Danny Simpson, he went, I've got your cousin, which is George Sawyer. He don't like his name being mentioned, but yeah, he said, I've got your cousin George, he wants to speak to you. When they let you out, come up. So they've come around, let me out. When I've got up there, he's got a bag of food for me.
Amazing.
Speak to my cousin George, thank you very much. I love him dearly, And then that was my first bit, and he was telling me pretty much what to do. Just keep my head down. Yeah, stay out of trouble. Get on a different wing from me, because I'll just get you in more trouble. But I love Danny, he's a good boy, yeah.
And lots of people have never experienced prison, but for you, did that make it a little bit easier because you was actually there and you knew a few people?
Yeah, Dutch already. He was in the cell next to me. That's how me and him become good friends. The rapper Dutch. He's got the sister that was on X Factor at the time. Was in there every Saturday night. Was waiting for that for months. When me and him become good friends. Bouncer as well. He was in there on the same wing at the same time. Who else was in there? There's a few boys. My cousin Danny Stevens. There's all people that I knew. Around there, and real respected people. And they was all like friends. They was already charged, but I wasn't. I was going up to court, and they was reading my papers every night. Trying to help me the best they could, because they knew that I went to pick my kids up. It's different if I was in there for ripping a cash machine out the wall or doing something. But they knew I was in there picking my kids up. It was one of them things. Yeah. Everyone wanted to see me go. I got out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's f***ed up, isn't it? You go and pick your kids up, and then that happens. You know what I mean? It's just like
I was filming.
Do you find though, like through your life, obviously because people know who you are and what you've done, do you think it's also meant that trouble follows you around because you're somewhere and then someone either wants to improve themselves?
So at the moment, I was in court a few days ago because I've got some firearms charges that will be chucked out next time I go there, or if not, I'll probably lose my license, because every time anything happens in the Surrey area, I'm on Channel 5 on the last programme that I've done, saying the exact same things. Every time anything gets done with any violence involved, first one that they pull in and have a little ask is me, and interrogate or try and fit me towards anything. And a lot of people use my name. All right, when I say use my name, they chuck my name up. I don't even know who these people are. Yeah, I walked into a cafe not long ago, and then the woman's going mad behind the counter where these 2 boys just jumped over the desk and run through the back. So I've got out the front, I've caught them like that. And when I worked out, I didn't even know the guys who they was threatening for me. So I'm happy that I did do that,
Has anybody ever has anybody ever threatened you with yourself?
Well, not
because somebody somebody actually said to me the other day that they were somewhere, and this guy he basically turned up, and the guy didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
And he went there and he said, like, you got to pay this money.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise, something's going to happen. You need to do the right thing. And the guy said, listen, mate, you don't know who I'm with. And he goes, who are you with? And he goes, this guy. And he goes, well, why don't you fucking ring him? And he goes, I'll speak to him later. He goes, no, because I am actually the fucking guy. So he said, you're actually threatening me with myself.
Yeah.
And I thought, what a great story.
Yeah, I've heard every story in the debt world. Every single story. They come up with them. You know, when there's money involved. Every great war, it all starts over women or money.
Women or money.
One or the other. Every debt, women or money.
both.
You know. So, yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? But it's been an interesting life, and I'm happy to be here now. I'll be promoting a big event that's coming up.
Yeah.
You know, we've done loads of work to get to where we are now.
Right.
As I say, Grant Miller, Tamar Hassan, Quincy, all the rest of the team that's working with us at the moment. We're doing brilliant.
So
and
have you got?
we're crushing barriers left, right, and centre.
When are you doing your first show?
So we've got in March, we've got at the O2 the press release and the launch and the first press conference, which is going to be interesting. And hopefully, if Big John, checks his emails, then hopefully we might be able to get the biggest 4-man competition going on.
Right.
You know,
when do you think that would take place? If everyone agreed, would that be like May, June time? Or?
Yeah, oh God, but you know what? It could happen at any time. If they actually serious about doing it and they come to the table, they realise what's there to be had at the table as well. You got to remember, it's not like we're not offering them the same as what. When he fought KSI, it was the biggest payday he ever had at the exact same arena we've got the contract for. Wow. Yeah, we've got the same license as what they can come along and we can do it again and probably hopefully have more that, you know. So it's not like we're doing it because I hate them, because it's not that. Right. It's just I'm doing it because obviously, obviously they started this and I believe that I'm going to finish this. Right. And let's do it in the UK and let's give everyone something that they want to see. Yeah. A little bit of gypsy on gypsy war.
So no, that's because you got the Gypsy King family versus Gypsy Mafia family.
Yeah, exactly.
There can only be
the
one.
Mafia are at the gates. Every great empire got took over, eh?
Are you friends with Alfie Best as well?
Yeah, I like Alfie.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Right. He's good.
Do you see his movie?
Little Alfie. Yeah, well, Grant was actually Grant, who I worked with. He was one of the judges at the London Film Festival.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
Wicked.
So he got a little squeeze there, Alfie did, didn't he? But Alfie knows Grant well as well.
No, it was actually good fun because I remember when Joel messaged me and said, we're doing a documentary.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got a chance to see it.
No, I didn't.
But it's interesting and it's amazing.
I've done a documentary with Alfie. We've done a documentary for the biggest channel over in France. So they come over, they film with us, film with him, same sort of thing. I've knew Alfie for years and I do like him hell of a lot. His kids love him to pieces,
good
you know. Yeah, all his family's all good, but he's a very busy man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's...
When you fly an helicopter up and down like an escort van, you're a busy man.
Yeah, now every time I see him, he's a million miles an hour. But he said to me, in life, he says, you've got a choice. He goes, you can work hard, and he goes, you can achieve. And but no one's going to give you anything.
No one.
And you've got to you can manifest whatever you want, you can wish for whatever you want, but you just got to get off your ass and fucking grab it, you know what I mean? And he's worth it. I mean, I know lots of people who
16 hour a day. When I was back round him, I noticed that he'd done 16-hour a day shifts.
Right.
And loved every bit of it.
Yeah.
So I took a leaf out of his book, and that's why, as I say, I do what I love doing. Nobody's promised tomorrow, and the short period of life that we do have, I believe that you should wake up every morning, say thank you for the past because you led me here, thank you for today because it's going to be good, and more importantly, the future.
And if you had any,
stay positive, and you get through anything. You know that.
And for you, if you was going to impart any wisdom on anybody going through what you've been through and achieve that level of the titles you've won, the fights you've won, what advice do you give? Like if a kid come to you and went, Tone, I want to learn to fight, I want to do this, I want to do that, whether it's business, whether it's fighting.
Anything that they do, if they don't love doing it, wake up every morning and start, because I've tried a million different things, nightclubs, shops, you know, in Ascot. I had the biggest beauty shop in Ascot. What, me with a beauty shop? What the? This is what I'm saying. Skip companies.
Eyelashes by Tony.
Skip company. There's endless business ventures, projects, what I've had, what I put time and effort into, and I realised I didn't love them. You know, so every single one of them, as soon as you hit the point of not loving it no more, you know, change your game and do what you love. Wake up every day, and it ain't like work, and worry about getting it done. Whatever it is that you love doing, get that done. As soon as you get that done, you're going to get paid. Move on to the next thing. Get that done. You know, you're going to always have money. Why are you always going to have money? Because you ain't spending it. It's always there because you're getting things done every day, you know, and then that's how you generate and that's how you build. And if you don't love doing that every day, you can't wait to get paid so you can spend your money. And if you know, on a little bit of happiness.
Right. And if you look at the things you're doing now, are you just focusing on potentially fighting?
Yeah.
Right. If you get the right opponent, obviously doing your new boxing.
Free X boxing.
Free X boxing.
Yeah, influencer boxing. Yeah. That's what I. Yeah. So that's what I put full effort into in that time where everything went wrong. It went wrong for a reason.
Right.
So everything went wrong for one reason, for me to concentrate and put everything I had, 22 months of research, trial and error, everything I had to do for 22 months. At one point, one of those things went wrong, then I wouldn't have been here and I would have done all of that for nothing. So I had the belief the whole way through it to push through to the end. And now all of a sudden, as it's starting to go out like electric at the moment, and we're signing these big fighters, we've got all these big brands coming to us. We're like, everything's going crazy. We've got a big, massive office in Blue Water. We've got one in Upminster. We've got global distribution.
Yeah, baby.
So it was only a vision in my mind 2 years ago.
Have you got a broadcaster on board then as well?
A broadcast room with
like Sky or somebody.
So Sky, we use Rep That TV, but we're our contract, we can partner with any top one. Amazing. So we've got Channel 5, what I've got a connection with. We've got Sky Sports, got a connection with. So depending on what show and what pay-per-view we want to do. But we've got a global distribution, that's the main thing. We've got a studio on Bromley on Bow, down there, what we do, all our podcasts, everything else from... You know, so we've got all our offices, we've got everything all going in the right direction. Yeah. You know what? A couple of years ago, we had none of that. Wow. Now look at us, you know, so it's only
that's remarkable in 22 months to be able to pull that all together.
No. Yeah. So we got on the TV, I'm the head of sports at this Rep That, so because we needed the broadcaster's license so we could get the influencer's license. So for that alone, I had to become the head of sports, and we got more. At that time, we had the same amount, or if not more than what DAZN had. And then they signed KSI, and it went up from 2 million to 9 million. Wow. They did. So then they whitewashed us. Yeah, basically. But still at the same time, we were still on the same as what DAZN was when I took the head of sports. Wow. Yeah, that's why it took months to get to that point.
Someone told me, and this could be bullshit, but I think DAZN, they spent something like $1 billion, didn't they, on getting going. Do you know what I mean? So I hope you haven't spent that much, Tony.
No, I haven't spent that much. I'm quite good at spending other people's money, but now I leave that to everyone else.
Right.
Yeah. So as I say, money comes, money goes. Yeah. You know, all it's about is when you're having the bad times, you know, that is to fuel your fire for success. That's when you work hard. When you're having the good times, you know what? Just remember, it's not going to be there forever. You know, everybody's going to go up and down. Right. You know, enjoy it all.
And I think there's a good lesson in there, because I think when people have success or luck or money, they think it's going to be there forever.
Yeah.
And
I've been involved in multi-million-pound property deals, what I put together myself. I had no love in that. That's the property game that I was dealing with. I got involved with all these certain people that were so busy, left everything to me. I put together multi-million-pound deals, and I walked away from that. Yeah, and you think I'm crazy. I know you will. But now, a few years later, after everyone said that I was completely mad, now we've got multi-million-pound deals again back on the table for doing something that I love. Right. Yeah, and I've got none of those blood-sucking, backstabbing people around me. All they're doing is just watching what I'm doing. Hey.
Yeah, this love goes out to the haters.
I love every one of you. Thank you very much. That was good. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. I mean, it sounds like 2024 is going to be an exciting year for you.
The takeover, I believe.
Yeah. And
well, UK now, we need some big fights in the UK, number one. And I believe it happened. Listen, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, they got together, they're sitting together, they hated one another. They're over at Saudi, they're getting all their money there. They've left the UK. There's not what's left in the UK.
Is Mick Hennessy still promoting?
He's got Fraser Clark. So who's Fraser Clark? Yeah, that's one of his big fighters. I watched it the other day on Boxer.
I didn't see. He's undefeated though, Fraser Clark, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's fighting that Wadley for the title. Is it Wadley? Yeah, for the title. So, yeah, but still, I respect them. And do you know what? They're brilliant at what they do. It's just that they've took a few of the big names over there. It's time for us now to get the champions and do what's good for this country, and which is influence boxing, giving everyone something to see, from all walks of life.
And when you say you have like an influencer license, does that mean that anybody who's got a following on social media,
every person with signs been verified, a verified champion fighter, or if not, verified celebrity or influencer.
But if they're verified celebrity, is there like an age that they can fight from and to, or is it?
Well, we could put together with the fight together with Joe Egan and John if they wanted to on the same bill as what we could.
It's not up to 45 or whatever. You can be up to.
No. This is what I'm saying, and we've got Bet 365 behind us. America's biggest betting. We're at 3x betting. We've got online betting, so that all these people are all behind us, and it's going to just get bigger and bigger. So, and that's the reason why, because we can put a world title fight, like as this, say for instance, Prince Patel, who signed with us, Isaac Lowe, who's part of Tyson Fury's team. Yeah, we could give them the shot at coming over and having a title fight on our one, same night as what John Fury and Joe Egan.
Right.
Yeah. So the same night, no other organisation can do that.
And do you have
not Misfits? They used to be able to in England, but they can't no more.
Have you done boxing promotion? Have you done events before?
I've been involved in it for years, and so I've been involved in it, been behind the scenes, trial and error with everything, So, but Grant Miller, which is he's just an entrepreneur at what he does, and he's very good, and he's been behind boxing for as long as what I know him through the fight world, and now he's like a family friend, and we started this venture together. He's everything that side of, and I'm everything this side. We're both. Between the both of us, there's nothing that you do not know.
Amazing.
And I put the work in. I'm happy to be here now, promoting it.
Well, I'm excited to see your first event.
I watch you on the pads on Instagram, so I'm hoping to get you on there. Anybody you're thinking about?
Do you know something? Somebody did ask me. I've been offered it twice actually. Somebody offered me. There was something to do with I think there was a charity, and they used to do. I don't know if it was is the SO19, the arm response.
Yeah, arm response.
Right, so the arm response, they was going to do a thing where they was going to have arm response police fighting celebrities.
Oh God!
And they asked me if I fancied doing it, and I was like, yeah, I'd do it. Because it was for charity and it was a children's charity for love.
You would have had to let him give you a couple in the ear, wouldn't you? Because if not, then when they come through your windows next time, you're getting one in the leg. Oh, God.
Or in the nut.
Straight in the nut.
But there was that, and then somebody else talked about it. But I mean, I think I'd definitely be open to it. But I'm not. When people do it, I'd do it more like for fun or
fun or for a good cause.
Yeah, or for a good payday. So
for a good,
if it's for a good cause and a payday,
you heard it here, everybody yourself. Yes, Terry Stone, leave him alone. Right, he'd be calling people out soon. 3X call outs. Here we come.
Be like, come on, I want to fight you now.
I can't believe the amount of people at the age of what they are, because I always thought that I'd be at age at boxing or at fighting, and I'd be like, I just don't want it no more. Right. But I'm like, I know how I feel, and I feel I'm at the peak, I'm at the prime. I've done everything to be at the person I am now. Especially in the fight.
Did you say you're 44 now?
Yeah, no.
Or 34?
Shows you how much of a life I had. I'm 39.
39, right? Okay. So do you know what? I thought you said you're 44. Do you know what? That must be. I must be.
I've had a hard life. Right, okay. I've had a hard life.
But 39. But I think. I mean, I'm 53 now.
Yeah.
But I still train. But I don't feel like
my last boxing fight was for the King of the Ring, and that was at the O2 Arena. That was 3 years ago. That was my warm up for the KSI, and I had a first round knockout.
Wow.
Yeah, first round knockout. So straight away, and ever since then, I've not took my foot off the pedal and I've trained. And do you know what? I'm so happy that now I've finally got things to look forward to with the shows and being able to get these big fights, knowing that I'm not going to get right to the finishing line, you know, and then things go wrong.
And with the influencer side of it,
Yeah.
What is it 3 1.5 minute rounds or 3 2-minute rounds? What's the
So that will all be left down to the team, so they sort that out.
Okay,
but more than likely it'd be like, so
because I know
more than
amateurs
likely
3-2s, isn't it?
So amateurs 3-2s, but they could do like 4.5-minute rounds or whatever. So the team with the licensing, Hassan, everyone else, that's it done. They work that out. So, but we've got some exciting ones, and crossover boxing is brilliant. I'd like to. I've heard say that Darren Till's come over from MMA into the boxing. I'd like to share the ring with Darren. So we're going to be getting in contact with these people very soon.
Yeah, wicked.
To see if they can get me and Darren Till on there. That'd be good. For most celebrities that haven't fought before. You know, if they're fought from a different background, they're still crossover boxers. If they're celebrity influencer boxers, they're going to be treated a lot different. You know, so a lot more lenient.
And what gloves?
So they'd be wearing the bigger gloves. They'd be having the less rounds,
like
obviously, and the
gloves?
less minute
Will
rounds.
it be 12s?
I'm not too sure. Do you know what? The reason that I haven't gone through all that, because we've got a team of people in the office that do all of that, and then with the licensing is a very difficult thing. Yeah. You know, you have to be pinpoint, and that's where Grant comes into it.
I don't mind fighting you on the show as long as you let me win. As long as you let me win.
Tie my arms up.
And what we do?
Tie my arms up.
What we do is we can bill it like a real fight, right? And everyone will be going like, Tony's going to kill him, Tony's going to kill him. And then just let me win on points, right? But then what I do is I'll put the money on the points win, right? And we split down the middle.
I don't think my betting organisation would like that.
Can Bet 365 make it happen?
No, might be able to. So we've changed a few things around, and obviously we've watched all the other companies, what they've done with it, and now we've got a deadline on the betting as well. So we've got a lady that used to work for the Zone, as it goes. Yeah, and she's going to give an hour deadline before every fight with an app that you can click on and you can bet on any of the fights. Amazing. So how many fights have you sat and watched? Do you know what? I'd like to know who they are to bet on them, and I'd like to be able to press one button and bet on them. Well, we've got a deadline now, makes it a lot easier for the betting. So I think that's going to be brilliant as well. And there's a few other things that I've probably said too much today anyway.
No, it's just interesting
about it, but there's a lot of other things as well, you know. So it takes all ingredients to make a cake. Yeah, no, you know, and there's all different cakes.
Yeah,
you know.
But no, it sounds like you've got a good plan, Tony, and
we're going in the right direction.
It's exciting, you know. Be interested to see who you have on your first show.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you'll be there.
I might have to.
You'll be there either as a spectator or a fighter, one or the other. But before that, your boy's got a party, I believe, in the next few days.
We're going to see each other.
Yeah, we're going to see each other there.
Brilliant. But he's good. Do you know,
I've got a documentary crew that's been following us about them, but I'm going to see if he's be all right with them bringing us along.
That'd be sweet, but that'd be lovely. But I'll tell you what's funny about Alfie. He's good at calling the boxing.
Is he?
And he fucking annoys me because he phoned me up. So ask him, say to him, because he phoned me up. I was in Vegas and I saw Amir Khan when he fought Canelo.
Yeah.
And he phoned me up and he goes, Dad, he goes, I don't know why. He goes, but bet on Canelo knocking him out in the 5th round.
No way.
And I went, it's either going to knock him out in the first 2 or it's going to go a bit longer. But I don't think it'll be the 5th round. And I'm sitting there watching it in the 5th round. Knocked him out.
And
I was like, fucking hell. But he does it I think there's been 1 or 2 that he's got wrong, but he does call it.
Fair play to him. I'm going to start
You'll have to ask him some tips.
I'm going to ask him for some tips. Like, who could have called the Ngannou fight the other day? You know, like Tyson had beaten him points because how about if you bet on Ngannou winning by points? Right. Yeah, do you know the odds that would have been
100 to 1, wouldn't it?
Exactly. And really and truly, like a lot of people, they believe that he did win by that, you know. So
do you know what? It's funny.
It's a big upset that is in the whole boxing world. And I understand that Tyson's got a lot of pressure on his mind. He's got, the biggest fight he's ever going to have in his life, which is Usyk. And Usyk is on paper and in flesh the most dangerous fight he's ever going to have.
And if Fury beats Usyk, right, I think he will, personally. But, you know, that's only because I've watched him fight. And when I saw that fight when he fought Wilder. I've been watching boxing since the 80s, right? And I went through the Hagler Hearns, Robert Duran, all those guys, Tyson.
I watch them all still now.
I'm in the bollocks, right?
Whatever footage I can get from.
But you look at, so we both have lived through that golden era of boxing, but when you look at now and you look at him, that trilogy of fights, I'd say that was like old school, you know what I mean? It was like...
Look at Wilder ever since Tyson exposed him, though.
I know he's been on the downward. I mean, I know he knocked somebody out on his after the fight, but I mean, all the people he's fought are any good.
Parker beat him the other day and made him look embarrassed, because at the end of the day, it was like once you know somebody, their weak points, and you've been in there and you've witnessed it, and you know that person, you know how to win, and his team knew how to win. You know, he got with the right people; they knew what to do. But it was only after that first fight with Wilder. Yeah, he never knew until he got in there with Wilder the first time. He still outpointed him, but he never knew what his power was like. Right. So the only one way to stop that power was to put him on his back foot. If you're on your back foot, you can't put your power and you can't come forward.
I tell you what did make me laugh. So that second fight. When he come out with all that gear on there, he looked like a gladiator, didn't he? And I remember when he come out, my son said, he said, oh, that Wilder's so funny. Yeah. He goes, I love his outfit. I said, if he loses, he's going to look like a right. And funny enough, Fury stopped him, didn't he?
Yeah, and he started complaining about, all he kept complaining about was like a kid crying. It reminded me of Wes Rooster in court in the dock. Them two get on well as it goes. Right. Yeah. So there's an article, Bangers and Mash, so everybody can see it. Go on to Google. That Tyson Fury was signed to him as the boxer. Andy Baker, a very good friend of mine, and I was signed as an MMA fighter to Andy's company. We also opened nightclubs together, gyms together, like different things for Andy. Then Andy actually got a 16 years imprisonment, and now they're doing a Netflix about him. So about what happened. But
is he still in jail now?
He's still in jail now. But I like Andy, a good guy, you know. And as I say, he was like supposed to be one of the most roughest gangsters in London. Anybody can see it, Bangers and Mash. But we was put down as enforcers for Andy in that documentary. I know that the Netflix has contacted me. They said Tyson didn't want nothing to do with it. And you know what? Until I speak to Andy, I don't think I'm going to really wanting too much to do with it myself. You know.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but that was the first time. That was the beginning of my career. That was the first big management that I had. Tyson was signed to it as well, you know, and then he carried on down Marbella route, and I carried on the English scene and doing the reality TV. But as I say, we was both started this journey together, you know, and because if you want to let money get to your head, you know, then you're not a real person, you know, and that's what they've done. They've escalated money, you know, with respect, definitely.
And what's your one thing I did want to ask you earlier? What's your favourite swear word?
Beep. I ain't going to give you that. No,
okay.
Not on it, no.
I just thought I'd ask because there's one word that everybody says they love.
Yeah.
And I thought you would. That's it, basically.
Is it? Yes. Is it? Yeah.
And every single person that's been on here, when I said, "What's your favourite swear word?" They've all said. And the funny thing is, like when you rewind back to, I don't know, 70s, 80s, whatever, if you said that word, people would get really fucking upset. But now everybody's saying it. Yeah.
And Dosser, I've noticed.
Dosser's a good one.
Dosser's now, that's out there, isn't it? That might come second in the ratings.
What's your favourite? Is that one of the? If you're fucking calling someone out, do you just call them a fucking Dosser?
I just give them a bit of the heart, you know. There's nothing better than coming from the heart.
Right, okay.
Definitely not. So give them a little piece of the heart, then let them know how you feel.
Because I've seen quite a few of those sort of gypsy call out videos where people want to fight people, and
it's crazy.
There's groups of them all fucking top.
But there's more call out videos than actual fights, you know. So a lot of it gets sorted out. Right. But you got to remember the hardest thing of actually. The call-out's the easy bit, then there's the training, then there's the fighting in the fight world. When you've got Channel 5 film crew with a camera there, and a camera there from when you wake up to when you go to sleep, and then you go into the gym, you've got all the stress and aggravation of having them wrapped around you while you're doing it as well. Yeah. That is hard. That is hard. That is like a full-time and that would give anybody a nervous breakdown. So how I got through all of that for all those years, God knows. Only God knows how he got me through that.
And if
that was stress.
If you had like when you see these call outs, to put some context behind it for our sort of listeners and viewers, once you've called someone out, if they then come and call you back out, do you then have a sit down with them, or do you just literally turn up and have a fucking fight?
There's usually always like a consultant. So if they would say a fair play man, yeah. So that the public might think of him more as a consultant, and then that would be someone that they both trust, yeah. And then they would both contact their consultant, or if not, one consultant will contact another consultant,
or the matchmaker.
The matchmaker as well. I'd say consultant because they both want the best. You know, they're not people who just want to get a fight sorted out. They actually want the best. So if it's for a good reason, then they're going to say, look, it's not worth doing it. Yeah, you're doing this for no reason and you're going to cause a lot more stress, a feud or whatever. So the consultants, definitely. Or if it's going to be something to get something squashed, let them have a little fight and then there's not going to be no feuds. There's not going to be nothing else come of it, but they will have to be a fight. There's a lot more, so then people got a lot to, when they get asked to be a consultant, they got a lot on their, Well, I've been shot 3 times over it, so...
okay, so you're a veteran.
I'm a veteran at being a consultant. You know what? And I've never had an argument with any one of those people.
Wow.
Like anyone, I've never had not one bad word with one of the people ever. And even after... Yeah, they can't believe because I don't hold grudges. And you know what? If someone's in fear for their life and they do something to defend themselves, do you know what? God bless them.
Yeah,
you know, it's a good thing I never had it.
but yeah, because so if and I'm talking about gypsies now. If you had one firm or one family calling out another family, and then they met and they had a fight, and then one wins, when they shake hands and they, you know, just say, right, you know, you won, fair play.
That used to happen a few years ago. But they don't happen like that no more.
But
over the social media, over the Instagram, the Facebook and the YouTube, then it just don't happen like that no more. There's so many people that wouldn't actually have a fight, stirring it and putting their opinions, manipulating it and pushing it on both sides. You know, so now a consultant has got to be in place.
But
so if you do not have a consultant, then and they do engage, then guarantee it's going to be an endless thing. More than likely, deaths, serious injuries, and people going to prison will most definitely happen.
So even if somebody wins, they don't really win. It's just going to carry it on.
Next time one of them's going through Tesco's, they're going to pull up at the back of their motor, put their shopping in. A van load's going to see them. You know, and it's just going to escalate from that because they've not had a consultant sit down. And then obviously 2 heads of 2 families, they give their word. They give them the word for their family. So then they sort their own family out if anything happens, you know, because there's embarrassment on them, you know. So it's like you giving me your word and then that your son's going to leave off and then your son went and done something, you're going to have murders at your son, ain't you? And say, look, I've got these people, my word, son. What are you doing? So there's the same sort of thing. So
there is a massive amount of honour and respect. Once you've said you give your word, that's it.
If you have the right people to sort the problem out.
Right.
So if you don't have the right people, and as I say, you have a good consultant there to sort the matter out properly, then it could lead into
awful trouble.
Awful trouble. And they don't worry. And as I say, when you live by certain codes, you don't ever worry about the police. At that time, you're worried about what your beliefs are. And, you know, and they don't even come into it. Right. So then it's endless what could happen.
So Tony, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. It's been great hearing your story, your journey, obviously your trials and tribulations. The fact that, you know, you're still the only professional gypsy cage fighter probably in the world, right? There's not any in America or in
Not
Europe.
that I know of.
Wow.
Not that I know of.
There's only one.
There's only one Tony Giles. But crossover boxing, the new thing, 3X.
Yeah.
So look forward to some big things coming. Yeah. And John, check your emails. Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers, my man.
Thanks for tuning into the Criminal Connection podcast. Tony Giles, what a great character. And as we said, he's the only gypsy MMA professional fighter in the world. He's a multi-title winning fighter. He's turned his hand to bare knuckle boxing, and now he's doing this really exciting new brand, 3X Boxing, where he's going to be combining professional fighters with influencers we're going to be getting like misfits on steroids. So I'm really excited about seeing Tony's first show. I wish him all the luck in the world. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you tell all your friends about the Criminal Connection podcast, and we will see you on the other side.